Hey guys, thanks for coming in. This is going to be the energy report for YouTube. I just want to preface that I am now separating energies from Rumble to YouTube. So this is specifically for the YouTube audience. Apparently there's a different vibration going on, so they want me to accommodate that. The first card that we get from the House of Night deck is Playful card 44. Now, this is in our past position. I'm not too sure if we're going with past, present, and future energies, but if we are, there's a playful energy here that is either needed or infused at this time. There or needed. Okay, I don't get much else than that. A lot of things like take things lightly. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of stuff here that is almost impossible to take lightly. I am aware of this, but there is a sense here we have to prioritize our grief and sorrow and all of that stuff. We have to be proactive in what we can here, because people are going to be put in positions where they can make a difference, and we really need to understand that it is our point here to make and be heard. This is what I'm getting. But if we keep our energy light and playful, this will help, is a sense. Okay, now the present energies that we get here. We have 32 self-worth. Yes, a lot of people are working on this at this time. And in order to go forward effectively, we have to have our self-worth intact. We have to feel that we are worthy of our opinion being heard. We can't go in sheepishly or, in a way where we don't have our confidence with us. So self-worth, we need to be working on that to feel worthy of being heard and voicing our opinion. This kind of thing is what I'm getting here. In order to go forward cleanly, we really have to work on our self-worth so that we don't crumble half the way through here in whatever we want with our convictions. They give me the word convictions. We speak with conviction, this kind of thing. If we do not have our self-worth intact, we will not be taken seriously, is really what I get here. And that's energetically, spiritually as well. It is a spiritual war we're dealing with, and it is have to do with our own self-worth. If we don't have our self-worth intact, the devil just come in and chew you up, spit you out, kind of thing. So we have to work on that in order to become effective in the future here. So what is our future card as we go forward here? We have 34 trapped. Okay. Well, the trapped card is literally that. It means we feel caged. We're not free of mind and will and spirit. So for some, without self-worth, they will be caged and trapped, is the sense that I get. We started out with a real playful energy, and maybe this is to the degree that some people aren't taking things as seriously as they should, and therefore are getting caught up in traps here where we didn't realize, right? This happens all over the place. It's rampant. So let's go into the second row here, the Metatron cards. On top of the playful energy of 44, the cat playing with the toy is kind of like focusing or being distracted by things and not understanding the bigger picture is really what I get. The card we get on top of there is Triangle, the Divine Masculine. We may have some divine masculines getting caught in traps because they're focusing on the things that, their eyes are being averted away from what really truly needs to be dealt with here, is what I get. They're showing me this triangle. I have another card in this deck. It's the rectangle, and it goes down the same way this graphic goes down, and it's my Into the Depths of Hell card, basically. And they're showing me that energy. It's unfortunately some of the masculines here, or those in masculine energy. You can be a feminine in masculine energy. Those that are taking things too lightly, they will get pulled down into the spiral of darkness here is really what I'm getting. I don't usually get that from this card. But again, we're taking things too lightly. To a degree, we're getting caught in a trap is the sense I'm getting. So let's go on to self-worth. What if we have self-worth intact? What happens here? We get the hexahedron, grounding in earth. Yeah, we have to be stable in ourself. What is ourself? Who we are? How we react? We have to know ourselves intrinsically in order to come out spiritually on top of things. And I feel like this person may take their physical world so lightly that, how would you say, and the spirituality is kind of, they're missing, they're not even going in there because they're just dealing with the physical world. And I mean, ultimately, you have no choice there. You have to deal with that no matter what. But we're following the wrong trail, is the sense. But those who have worked on their self-worth properties and are gaining ground in the way of understanding who they intrinsically are, what they truly want to stand up for, and know what I do and I don't want, these people will be grounded and stable in that self-worth. They will gain headway, is the sense. Now, as we go on to the trapped card, ultimately I feel like, for some people who are stable, I feel like they can avert. We'll see what the next card is. But I feel like those that aren't stable are going to be caught up. Okay? So on top of that trapped card, where the caged bird, right? We are not free to do what we want to truly do. And we may not even know ourselves enough to know what we want. And that is also something that could be put upon the self. Meaning outside people can spin us in so many directions, we don't know what the hell we want. And we don't care. And we just, again, get caught up in things that don't matter. So on top of the trap card, we get the complete round. Now it's interesting because this card popped out when I was shuffling. And I was like, that's a meditation card. And they didn't give me any energy. I was just like, noticed it. And here it is. It wanted to be seen. Now, give me a moment while I tap in here. Yeah, see, that would be the opposite is what they're saying. It's the opposite of this divine masculine energy that I was getting for this card. Now, if we put the triangle and the complex round, it's like the triangle, the center is dark, and the complex round, the center is bright, right? We're going into the light, someone's going into the dark. And again, some of this can actually happen unknowingly because we're being distracted in certain ways, but we're being distracted so we don't see how far in we are before we can't get out. And this is the sense I'm getting, is we can't get out. We've been distracted to a degree that some people may not be able to get out. Now, this is the complete round. This is the light at the end of the tunnels. That's what they're giving me the sense of here. There's a flower. A flower is a symbol of life and embellishing life, making life more beautiful, this kind of thing. For some people, this will happen. Some people it won't. That makes sense, right? And again, the more grounded you are in where you are, I saw an interview yesterday, another one with, there's a man, the guy from Big and Rich. I can't think of his name right now because I'm focused. And then on Sean Ryan show, I'll have to post that. But I posted a short from it in my thing. It was very profound about, elites and whatnot, energies and whatnot, how they get caught up and strung up. Yeah. This is kind of resonating here with that. And the sense is that some people will be so spun sideways that they just get them so busied up that they don't know what's going on until it's way too late to get out. And we've made commitments and we and we can't get out. And we're locked and we gotta, and that's the thing. And it's interesting because that guy was talking about how he had no contract, but he's still doing his music, but he was limited to what he could do because they say, no, you can't do this, that, and the other. And the music that's really getting rave reviews now, it's stuff they wouldn't have let through. And it's sad, right? Because there's no creative flow there. It's just we're controlling. So this is the same sense I get here. Some people are going to get tricked because they are taking life lightly, but not in the proper manner. They're taking it lightly, but they're being distracted because all around them is distracting them from what really truly matters. They're taking them away from that. And it's so far to a degree that they just may not see the light of day. And some will gain their self-worth. They'll do their self-work and they'll gain the ability to go in the right way, which is seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, being able to be uncaged from that. The door is going to open on there and they'll be able to fly out, but they cannot do it without their self-worth intact. That's the thing. And people will, outside of you, work on diminishing that. And sometimes they're doing the devil's work and they don't even realize it. They just are diminishing your returns and making you feel bad and whatnot. And we can't get out of that cycle. So, wow. Okay. So as we go back to the Divine Masculine card here, the triangle, what do we get from the Oracle deck? The Chariot. Talking about focus. Yeah. I think at some point here, someone was under the understanding or gained some clarity at some point here, but only to fall back into a trap of the same, because I feel like this person is just surrounded. They're surrounded by everything that they shouldn't be. And, to me, I understood as well, because it's not necessarily the people that are around you, but it's the influence of energy is infused in them. And again, if God wants to guide you, you can be an earth angel if you listen to those promptings. Like, it could be as simple as getting a card for an older lady at the thing and, help her do that. And then the same can happen on the other end. You can have the devil come in your head and tell you to do something and you agree to do it, but you don't realize you're doing the devil's work. You're just following something that you don't discern. You don't discern the consequences of it down the road. And that's the sense I'm getting here. Is somebody in their past, they did look at this and go, wait a minute, I got goons coming here. Again, unknowingly, because she's sitting there deep in thought, but these goons are coming after you. I feel like somebody has goons around him, like surrounded by goons. And some of them knowingly pushing you down and some of them unknowingly pushing you down. They don't want you to get forward. They don't want, for whatever reasons, right? So as we go on the hexahedron, talking about the grounding, this is the stability of the reading. It's the stability of the behavior that we're trying to get out of this trap. What do we get there? Elemental of Wands, one's identity. Yeah, it's getting back to the self. We do not, we either have someone here that just does not know who they are and they have other people telling them who they are and they listen to that. They have no opinion there. Like it's like we've been deluded to not have opinion. We've been brainwashed to go with other people's flow. We have no flow of our own and we accept that. This is for some people, and for others they're realizing they don't have an identity and they have to create or be responsible for their own energy field, their own self-worth. If everybody tells you to do something, yeah, and I mean, I've told stories about this before. It's like you're never going to be happy on everybody else's opinion. You have to have your own opinion. If you don't have one, you have to carry it. Like, it's, again, I'm seeing that scene from that movie where it's like Julia Roberts, she always conformed to the eggs that her boyfriends would have. What eggs? I like over easy. Okay, then away you go. I like over easy too. And then one day she just decided, you know what? I got to find out what eggs I like. Boom. Eggs Benedict. That's the one I like. So she figured it out. What do I like without anybody influencing me? It's like accommodating to others and having no self-worth. And others will chew you up and spit you out. And the thing is, you will never know what hit you because you just feel trapped all the time. Life has no purpose. What am I doing this for? These kinds of things would be going through your head. Because we're never satisfied. We're never satisfied because we don't consider the self. We've been conditioned to disregard the self and work for others. In some ways, this can be, it can be a good thing, if we're trying to help others, but we never do it to the detriment of the self. We never diminish the self to help others. We build ourselves up and we go over into others with the overflow of what we have. So we give freely and we don't feel a deficit when we give. This person has never gotten to halfway point. They're at zero all the time. People take from them, and they don't know that you're supposed to be at 5, not at 0. Right? So we've been conditioned to accept this. One's own identity is not there. It's not there to deem from. So we have to build that. How do we build it? We understand what it is we want without the impression of someone else. We get away from everybody, decide what we want, and then we go back in. And again, I feel like what we want, nobody else wants for us. So therefore, we're completely being diminished. This has got to change. This has got to, something's got to happen here. So as we move into the future, the complex round, really what I was getting here, it's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. The flower is enticing you to go forward into the light because we've come from darkness. Again, our default is not where it should be. Our default should be at 5 between 1 and 10. And our default is at 0 between -5 and +5. But we've never seen +5. We don't know what that is, right? The complex round is that light energy, that tube going to take you into a new life where things are better. Not only is 0 not okay, but we're going to completely increase the vibrational frequency where we can truly be happy and playful and not just playful in a way of avoiding our reality. Yeah. There has been thought put in the past, okay? I feel like this is more like an individual I'm tapping in on, but nonetheless, in the past, we've sat and thought about things and it's really warped. They're going, we were correct in this. We just have to now step up and come out of that area. I'm looking at, I had a card from the last energy report, or no, it wasn't. I don't know what it was. I'm getting them all mixed up, but from one of the readings, and it ended on the 21, the world card from the Cat Tarot. And it was very much a release of the darkness, right? And I feel like that's what needs to happen here. But this person's really zipped right up to their eyeballs, like they're zipped right up. They got that hood on and it's like they undid it up to their throat, but now they're refusing to speak on it. They don't know what to think. And then they kind of want to pull it back up because they don't know nothing else. They don't know. I'll tell you, once you start working on the self and you realize that you can do things to make yourself happy, do things that I want to do. Yeah, someone here is just really oppressed or repressed, whatever. It's all on them. They're caged and they need to stand in their own power, but people around them keep them dragged down to the degree that they can't gain their own power. They can't even see it. So on top of the complete round, what do we get here? Celebration of 4 Wands. Okay. The light at the end of the tunnel could be a relationship that will help you come out of this. It's interesting because I have a white robe and a black robe. And that would symbolize the energy that we're trying to get out of. Now, this is a happy couple. It's interesting because I did a reading and I was like, this ain't the right energy. It's not the right energy. But this card was in there. And it meant a completely different, darker thing. And I just didn't want to go in that dark area. I'm here no matter. It's here because it's meant to be here. It is what we're dealing with, the darkness, trying to come out of it. We don't have the self-worth to bring ourselves out of it. We're letting other people rule us, and this has got to change. Now, there may be a relationship come in the future that will help you regain some of your self-worth here, or you may find a relationship in the future. Give me a minute here. Where it makes you see that there's another side to things, is what I get. Now, we may already have actually had this energy in our field for some and lost it. Some of us may have completely lost that light at the end of the tunnel, and some may be working toward it, is the sense. But it all has to do with our own identity and identifying with the self enough to know what we truly want without outside influences. Man, this energy is just stamping itself through these readings. And I can't remember which one it is, but you will know because it's repeating. It's repeating some of the horoscope readings. Let's get into the angel area. What do we got for to knock things down here? I don't know how to pronounce that. Shatiel, angel of silence. It's in silence we uncover the musings of others and their ability to sway us in certain directions. It's need to understand why people want us to do certain things that are out of character. Even though we are building character and we're working on character, we realize now people are trying to pull us out of our own way. So this is for someone who is actually starting to defeat those opponents outside of them. They are sitting in silence and watching. This is a good thing because you will see a lot here. And one of the first cards from the last reading that I'm not showing here, but was the listen card. The silence needs to be there so that we could see what is right and wrong. Because whenever you assess something, you got to sit in silence and let it wash over you, right? And this is that energy. This is where we end up in the future. Not quite there yet, but again, there's people on many levels of this. There's some people that will end up in a relationship where they will see light at the end of the tunnel. There may also be people who see light in someone but are not allowing that in. There's that as well. They're just sitting in silence because I'm seeing this Chariot card again. It's like they haven't made up their mind. And again, because so many people outside of us are pulling us in differing directions. It's here or there. And unfortunately, we can't make that decision. Some of us can't. Now, give me a minute here. This is interesting because this card is symbolizing the snow. And we're talking about the future, so snowfall. In the snowfall, we will understand things better. So the turning of the seasons, like I'm in the northern North America here, Canada, and yeah, we're starting to flip seasons here into fall, and the snow may come to a degree where, how do I put this? Yeah, it's like snowfall. When the snow falls, I feel like this person is going to feel the energy switch quite highly, is what I get. I feel like when the thickness is in the air in such a way, it's going to change their vibration, their priorities, and whatnot. So this may be a bumping up cycle in whoever, this reading affects. It may be that the fall equinox, because there are energy shifts in each season. There's a reason that they're there. It's because there's a shifting of energy that happens. And they've explained this to me many times. And that shifting will be felt quite profoundly in this person who is having a hard time gaining their stability in their self, because it really has to do with me and what I want and how I allow others to influence what I want. And this needs to stop. This needs to, because we have learned and we should know that it doesn't make us happy, because it hasn't up until now. We're still seeking happiness, but we refuse to do something different in order to gain it. This is the track that this person or people are on. And it could be a large mass of people. It could be the energy that's going across, this North American sector here. For those that don't get snow, it will be the turn of the season, the equinox, right? Equinoxes. No. For this person, though, it's going to be literally Yeah, because they're showing me the density, right, of the snowfall. It makes everything seem so closed in. I don't know how to express it. But when you feel that snowfall, it's like the air is thicker, and suddenly your shouts don't go as far. It's dense, so you get heard, not as far in the snowfall as compared to being wide open with no density in the air. And I'm getting that energy is going to transfer to that person to a degree where there's the excess is going to fall away. They're suddenly going to get grounded. Now, I say suddenly, but that's those that are working on the self and looking inward to find these answers. Those will be hit with an energy switch quite profoundly in the fall here. Fall to winter season. So that could be up to, November. I'm getting November-ish. Yeah. So that's interesting read. Again, it kind of came off like a personal read. Um, but it can run the gamut, There's people out there that are really being distracted to look at things that do not matter in the bigger scheme. And these people need to really ground themselves and decide within their own identity, this is what matters. I need to work on the self, whatever it is. Here it is accentuating the self and the worth of self. And we cannot make change unless we feel worthy of going outward. And, like when you form an opinion, like say you're in an office meeting and and they're all throwing out ideas. If you do not feel that your idea is worthy, you will not throw it out there. You will not, create that change that needs to happen because you feel that it's not worthy. Everybody else is better than I am, and I don't know if I can, whatever. It's not going to go. But until you throw it out there, you don't know if it's good or bad, right? You don't know if it can be used or not. And you have to have that self-worth in order to do that. It's to be opinionated in that way. They're all asking for opinions, so go ahead, but if you don't feel worthy in it, you don't stand, then somebody can say no and you can say yeah, okay, and you back off. But if you have the self-worth, you go, wait a minute, like maybe this is valid, give it a second look, push a little harder. And that's in all areas, right? Again, things are going to be mutating here quite heavily. I see evidence of this. And as they do, we have to stand up with our worth so that we can't just be brushed aside with no, that doesn't. We have to be heard. We have to kind of fight to be heard is the sense. And this is what, okay? So that's what I'm getting. Push to be heard. And if we don't have the self-worth to gain, then we're not going to push in the right area. Is the sense. We're not going to push for what matters because we've diminished the self. We got to build up the self. And unfortunately for some people, that takes a long time alone where you have gained the confidence in the self to make those decisions. And, if you're surrounded by people that just crabs in the bucket, they're just all going to step on you and you're the last one there. And then nobody going to help you out. Like this is kind of where we could be, but I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. I do see, whether it's an actual partner or people around you that are there for your highest good, that you can see the light of day, and we can always pray for that as well. We can pray and ask for these things. Our guides are willing and ready, man. They're double timing things now. They're getting help from this one, that one. They'll bring in fields of stuff that can work in your favor. And I've seen evidence of this as well. Like I just the other week I had something. No, yeah, asked for strength to deal with it was something. I knew I was going to have a problem dealing with this person. So I asked for strength to do that. And even though, there's little things I had to figure out on my own, I did gain a certain amount of strength I don't know that I would have had if I didn't ask for it. This kind of thing. It's little things like that can slowly build that confidence back up. Because to know that you have a spiritual force behind you, a lot of people have no clue. They don't believe in it. Some people believe in it, but they're shoddy, the confidence not there, well, I had this and that and that. And there's certain things you can have and certain things you can't, ask for. But you will get evidence and synchronicities, and all these things will answer. The universe wants to connect with you highly at this time to guide your way. So feel free to dip into that, because I know it saved me from feeling so lonely. You think you're the only one on the universe that feels a certain way, and then when you tap into that side, you feel, and then you feel, okay, I'm strong enough now, I can go out in the world, and then you still get, you still, not everybody can do that path alone. Not everybody wants to be alone. Even if they can do it, they don't want to be alone. But, it's nice to know we have backing, and that's that source of energy, that Christ consciousness, God, head, whatever you want to call it, that energy from above. You gotta have faith in that. And I'm not talking woo-woo stuff. I'm talking like prayer. Like, give me strength to deal with it. And prayer for the self, not for. Give me strength. Let me see my way. What am I here for? Show me my way. And you will get things. They will communicate with you. Be open to seeing things in your universe. Be open to the communication factor, because, I get on strings where I attach to this, and then it's like, oh, there's this weird world where you're getting universal synchronicity flow back, and then I say, okay, that's enough. I have to ground out, because I get kind of off, and it's really off in that world that they want you to be, to a degree where you're making headway here on Earth. It's hard to explain. It's where we should be, but it feels so unstable to us, so out there, that it's not comfortable. And for me, it's not comfortable either. I have to take a break from even, being in this world like this. Me coming back for this reading, I'm coming back from grounding myself right the heck out on the earth. Like, I'm working and doing, blah, 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 and that's it. I wanted to push it out for a while, just so that I can gain my balance. I don't want to be too far in that world, even though that's where we're headed. The energy is not a complete match yet, right? So that, I don't know, I need to express that on a level. Keep your balance, keep grounded, but also be open to the energy of synchronicities and weird stuff going in that way. And again, the silence may be keeping you sane as well. But don't let it, but allow it to make you happy. Allow it to be a magical place. Allow it, even if just for the self. Because sometimes, you talk about synchronicities and people are like, yeah, and that just happened. That's just whatever. People will justify for the way that they need to go, but it may not be the way you need to go. And I think your silence is saving you. I think you understand the worth of silence at this time. And I think it's also informing you of a lot of things. We may not be one to overly express anyway, but at this time, I think we're being overly, how would you say, like quiet right down, abnormally quiet. Like, we may not be a talker, but we're very much, just in spy mode is what I get. And they're going, yes, do this. Yes, take in all that you can take in this way. Yes, we agree with this. So that may be your validation. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Yeah, you are. Because it never hurts to look into things deeper. It never hurts to look into things deeper. And when you do that, you understand more deeply, on deeper levels, what you will and won't put up with, or you will and won't see, or you will and won't want. Da da da. The angel of silence is here helping you see things more clearly. So again, I feel like you feel you're in charge of that. So that's great, because it's all in the flow. There's a celebration coming in the future. There may be a connection that we make here that will either make us feel that we are no longer trapped, or there may be one coming here to trap us, but we will see the light of day no less. Now, give me a moment, because I just said something and it's like, what? There may be one coming here in the future. Okay, because they're going, notice the black and the white. So be careful for people trying to trap us. Yeah, I was saying the honeypot energy. This is the same thing. Oh, man. Am I doing... Because that was my energy report from Rumble, was talking about honeypot stuff. And I can't for the life of me think of what was going on there because I'm so entrenched in this reading. But for those that are trapped in darkness, be careful for honeypots coming in your direction trying to sweeten things up. We are in silent mode. We will be able to see this clearly, but if our ego is intact to too much of an overbalanced degree, out of balance degree, we could get caught up in this, and that could be a trap that is laid for us. So some people will get trapped by some kind of relationship in the future, and others will be getting into one that will untrap them, will get them out of, and make them see more clearly what's right and wrong. And again, you will feel this on your, like they're going, our gut will tell us, boom, this is where I'm meant to be. Our gut will tell us, but if we have an ego and we can't override that, that will bring us into a trap. Yeah, somebody here, we may have someone sent to us to trick us, to keep us down in the energy we're accustomed to. And again, we're meant to evolve out of things. Yeah, so there's traps being laid here for this person. But if you have your identity and self-worth in a good place here, or you're balancing that out and you're grounded in what you want and whatnot, you should be able to see your way out of this. You should be able to thwart it if you have a good sense of self-worth. If you don't, you will just run right into it. And it may create a point here where you just speechless because you didn't see it coming, this kind of thing. It's because we're not working with the instinct. We're not working with the self. We're working without trying to please people outside of us to a degree that we don't even consider. And when you have that vision of everybody outside of you mattering, not that people shouldn't matter, they should, but to the degree where we don't even consider the self, we're not gonna see, because we're not even taking our own wellness into account. And then somebody will say, do this, okay? And then boom, you realize you're in a trap here. Wow. So for some, yeah, we can, and we will overcome. It is our time to do so. And for some, it is our time to separate. You know, we are trapped in darkness, and unfortunately, it's knowingly but unknowingly. We'll be tricked into trapping, but it is because we refuse the light already, this kind of thing. So your silence will do you good no matter. And hopefully you have the grounding to come out on top of things. There's a descent into darkness that's trying to be interrupted here, but it will be a quiet, it won't be an easy decision. It will be a quiet flow of energy that comes through that can slip you right out of things, and it will be a very loud voice that will keep you in. And if you listen, you will notice the difference between the two. If you don't, and you're busied up and they keep you spun in circles, you will continue to go down the wrong path here. Okay, that ends that reading for the fall season here. So we're talking like September, October, November even. Hopefully that made sense to somebody. Take care, guys. Have fun and be kind. If you want more readings from me, go into the Facebook page. It's Infinity Readings on Facebook. You'll see my logo there. And you join in there. Follow it. If you don't follow, I won't come in, and that's all great and wonderful. If you do follow, I will come in and give live night readings, energy work, whatever you guys want. So I got to see some trackage there. If I don't, then I'll just carry on. Okay? So take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you soon.